Misconceptions about others keep us divided, keep us separated, and ultimately deny us that ability, that chance, la chanza, to connect with others on our basic humanity, which I think is lost in the conversation of social media, mainstream media as well. Today, they want to keep us divided from each other. How are you when you misconcept somebody, when you misjudge, when you discriminate, when you're bigoted? Because we all have them, and to say you don't, that's another lie, right? That's another. You're just fooling yourself. You're not being real. You're not being authentic. You're not keeping it 100. So uh, wherever you come from, however you are raised, and however what does family and friends mean to you, is how you perceive the world, and how we perceive the world, and how we move along in the world. You get it in how you deal with strangers, how you deal with others. So I ask you that before I get into this misconception of what a cholo is, what someone who might look like a gangbanger is. I want to remind you guys 70% of you guys that are watching the Latino slant right now are not subscribed. ¿Por qué? We work hard, we give it to you, we entertain, we cover a lot of great subjects, a lot of great entertainment, have great guests. In fact, what I'm going to do after this video is connect you to an incredible interview that I did with Edward James Olmos, which kind of connects, there's a connective tissue in what I'm going to talk about. So please subscribe now and comment. It's all free. It's all free to subscribe. So let's get to this right now. The Daily Cella does a fantastic job on social and political issues, and they have done this, done something unique that really most Latino publications shy away from, and that is defining the Cholo Chicano lowriding culture with dignity, intelligence, and really great filmmaking. So, we're going to look at a clip of this gentleman who's this great artist, and I want to break down what he says to you guys, to us, and I think it's really, really insightful. So, let's go to this Cholo misconception. Um, you know, good. We got the visual. Cholo misconceptions. And we'll break this down because I'm very connected to this culture in many ways, and we'll talk about that in a second as well. All right. Mm. Okay. So what this gentleman's saying is that it's a misconception, right? To think that gentlemen that look like him, right? The bald head with the tats, with the whole uh, swag of it all, right? The swagger, excuse me, that they're violent, that they're criminals, that they're the worst of the worst. And but you'll probably say, well, but Polly, they are, they all commit crimes, and look who's in the jails. That's a multifaceted, deeper discussion. But I will tell you this: you take that population and put it up against the greater Mexican American population, and it's very small. And that's the point that he's making, is that the numbers is very small as far as someone who's a straight out violent thug. It's actually tiny. And you can see that in any community, whether rich or poor, black, white, Chicano, I don't know what. It really that violent nature uh, that small violent nature, that outright that thug is very tiny. So they just obviously create the most ruckus. And what media does and what Hollywood does is they celebrate it. Well, for good or for bad, right? In the big crime gang movies and television and the roles, it's absolutely disgusting. So it's a tightrope of culture that we walk at times. Fascinating stuff, guys. Fascinating stuff. How are you when you interact what you deem as a cholo? Do you have relatives who are like that? I do. I do. I can tell you right now the connection of Cholo Chicano Mexican American culture, really Cholo lowriding culture. They are the bearers of Chicano culture. They keep every custom of what it means to be Chicano going, from fashion to cars to their outlook to their um, just their values in life. And one big thing is that of resistance, of doing it yourself, of questioning. I mean, that is Chicano 101. All right, let's see what else this gentleman has to say. I'll go ahead and make myself small on this go. But yeah, I will have this gentleman's link as well to his Instagram page. You got to check out this guy's work. Incredible photographer. Mhm. Mm. Savage animal. Well said, sir. Well said. Um, I'm going to tell you right now what you might deem as someone that might look just like a savage thug, a hood that you would never interact with. You'd be surprised. What you would seem as a hard edge exterior. You give them the grace of respect, and that all melts away. And that's what I'm talking about tapping into our humanity. And I'll just give you a little example amount. There was a gentleman recently, and as far as looks, and if we're judging a book by its cover, harder than this homeboy. I mean, straight up hard looking, bald headed, Chicano who owns a landscaping business and who cuts our grass and all that stuff. And this service is done by my landlord. There was a job that was not totally done, and he came out and he had to literally sweep up the last of what his one of his workers did not do. And he was so irate, he was so upset that he had to be there. He was very, 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 very upset. Let's just put it like that. He had his wife there and he had his son, and they had the brooms and all that stuff. And he was just like itching to argue with somebody. And I was there, and he asked for a broom, or he definitely asked for a leaf blower that I had, and said, "Yeah, man, I'll connect it right now, not a problem." And I said, "Is there anything else you need?" And he just kind of let that rage go, that anger go in that moment, because we've all had those moments where we're just so frustrated with an employer or with work. We didn't do work that wasn't satisfactory. And like, oh my God, I got to do it again. And you should have seen the biggest smile that came across his face, because he was so thankful that I was helpful to him. Not trying to do an argument. Not there, there was none of that, but there was that moment of grace, moment of respect given to him. And I'm fortunate enough to where I kind of know how to maneuver with the homies. I definitely didn't grow up like they did, but my relatives, are that gentleman. Long story short, uh, you saw this person just as a man who was frustrated, just as another one of us, and that's what I'm talking about. Is we got to practice, that it's harder to understand and show compassion than it is just to judge and to put up those walls of misconception. And I think this is a great example of cholo culture being completely misconceived, misused, and even shitted upon by our own Latino brothers and sisters who are in the media, who think they're better than this subculture. And let me tell you guys right now, if you guys are, whether it comes from to, and let's say you are, you're in for a rude awakening when it comes to politics, society, entertainment, because these people are the majority. And I say these people, regular hardworking Mexican American Chicano people, Cholo culture, and yeah, show a little humanity, practice it, and definitely what Wokosos love to do is try to put their own principles upon other people. That's not gonna fly. That'll never fly with the homies. All right, so now I'm gonna connect you to an interview I did with editor James Olmos. It's fantastic. He talks about a little bit what we're talking about and some of his film iconography. Wherever you're at, keep your slam first, and don't forget to make sure you are subscribed. It's free. Orale.